So here we have it. Mont Blanc had just released the brand new flanker to Explorer. This one is called Explorer Ultra Blue. As soon as I heard that this fragrance was being released, I bought it right away. I've been sitting on it for a few weeks now, and I'm ready to finally give you my thoughts on this brand new fragrance from Mont Blanc, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin my fragrance review of the brand new 2021 release by Mont Blanc, this one is called Explorer Ultra Blue, I do want to mention that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, if you like fragrance reviews here on YouTube just like this, but also top 10 videos, giveaways, unboxings, and more, please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. All you have to do is click on that red subscribe button down below, and while you're at it, make sure to give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. It would mean a lot to me. So here we have the brand new release by the company Mont Blanc. This one was actually a collaboration among 3 perfumers, Olivier Pichot, Antoine Maison-Dieu, and Jordi Fernandez. I also did a review on the original Explorer, which I'm gonna leave a card to that up here. That fragrance is very similar to Creed's Aventus. So if you've ever tried Creed Aventus and you tried Mont Blanc Explorer, the original one in the black bottle, you'll notice that there's quite a similarity between the two. So as soon as I heard that this fragrance was announced and that they were coming out with a blue version of Mont Blanc Explorer, I thought to myself, uh-oh, is this going to smell like Creed Aventus Cologne, which is the lighter version, the lighter, fresher version of Creed Aventus. And to my satisfaction, this smells nothing like Creed Aventus Cologne. And I'm sure there would have been some people out there who would have actually appreciated that because they're looking for a designer alternative to Creed Aventus Cologne. But in any case, throughout the course of this review, I'm gonna be letting you know what I get from the smell, what notes really stand out to me, how the performance is on my skin, how long it lasts, if there are any other fragrances on the market that I would compare this one to. But let's start things off with the presentation. So right in the opening of this fragrance, you are going to get this sort of citrusy and herbal characteristic. Now, as far as the note breakdown is concerned, you have bergamot in the opening. And of course, bergamot in and of itself is very citrusy, a little tart, very fresh. There's also kind of like a lemony appeal in the opening, which I really enjoy, and a little bit of a spiciness too. Now, I know in the note breakdown we have pink pepper listed as a note, and I definitely do get that from this fragrance. So we have the bergamot, you have a little bit of that rosy pink pepper working its way into the complexity of the DNA, but then you also have like this herbal characteristic. And I think that it's the herbal part of this fragrance that makes me think of other fragrances on the market, and I'll explain what I mean. When I was looking at the note breakdown, I thought to myself, what's giving me that vibe? What's giving me that impression? Maybe it's the pink pepper working in tandem with that Indonesian patchouli that's used in the base. But in my experience, when I have tried Indonesian patchouli and some other fragrances, it can come across smelling a little bit dark. And this fragrance is not dark. It's very bright, very effervescent, citrusy, flavorful, so on and so forth. So it actually kind of reminds me a little bit of Nishane's Ege. Now, when you look at the note breakdown for that fragrance, it actually contains basil. And as I'm smelling this one, I'm also getting something kind of aromatic from it. Now, there's no basil, there's no tarragon, there's no clary sage, there's no bay leaf, there's nothing in here that would make me feel like, oh, there's something herbal in here, giving that unconventional freshness to the fragrance. So I think it's really the pink pepper working in combination with the Indonesian patchouli in the base, which is creating a really interesting vibe to the fragrance. Now, I also saw online some people were actually comparing this one to Azaro's Chrome Aqua. I kind of get that comparison as well. I wouldn't say it reminds me of that specific flanker, maybe, but there are some other fragrances out there, some flankers to Azaro's Chrome that I can actually see this one smelling similar to. And I think it's that similarity in the note breakdown where I think Chrome Aqua has like bergamot and C notes. This one also has C notes. Chrome Aqua has like this apple note in the opening. This has a fruity accord, a fruity notes used in the opening of the fragrance. And so I can kind of see what's going on in there where It opens up a little bit fruity. It has that herbal vibe in there. I'm sure there's also ambroxan in here. There has to be, because it gives off that oceanic, fresh, slightly salty vibe that ambroxan can kind of give off, or ambroxan crystals give off. There may also be a little bit of K-Lone in here, which is used in a lot of aquatic fragrances, and it's like the #1 aquatic note. But in any case, I like the freshness of this. I like the citrusy quality of the fragrance. There's something herbal in here. At times when it's reminding me of Nishane's Ege, I really love this fragrance because I wore Nishane's Ege when I went on a recent vacation with my family during spring break. And so that creates a happy connection for me. But I do find this fragrance to be quite similar to other DNAs that I've already tried. And so if you're in the market for like a really unique fragrance, I think inevitably this will remind you of some other fragrances. So you could probably cross that off the list. But in any case, I do find this to be a very functional fragrance. I think it is a type of DNA that is going to cater to a lot of people's tastes. I think it's also the type of fragrance that you can wear very comfortably in an office setting. And it is also the type of DNA that I can see you getting complimented on as long as you portray or embody that type of social confidence. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, it is its own fragrance. When you do a side-by-side with some of these other fragrances that I mentioned, like Nishane's Ege and Chrome Aqua, you'll see that this one also does its own thing. So it's not a direct interpretation or inspiration of any of those other fragrances, but I really point those fragrances out to give you a sort of comparison to better facilitate your understanding of how this fragrance is going to smell in a world where smell-o-vision doesn't exist, right? So I do find it to be a very pleasant formula. It's definitely the type of DNA that's going to land you a few compliments, very easy to wear, especially appropriate for an office setting, great for this time of the year. Longevity is 7 hours on your skin. Projection is great for the first hour to hour and a half. That's when it actually radiates a little bit beyond an arm's length, starts to sit quite close to the skin around that 5 to 5.5 hour mark. And then at the 7 hour mark, you got to reapply. In terms of the versatility, I can see this one being worn casually more than formally. I can see this one being a little bit more masculine than feminine, just because it reminds me of some other masculine fragrances that I own, or fragrances that are marketed for men, I should say. I can see somebody who's a little bit younger enjoying this fragrance as opposed to somebody who's a little bit older. If you are into citrus fragrances, somebody who's a little bit older might want to wear like Terre d'Hermès or any number of other citrus dominant Hermès fragrances on the market. And then of course, I think this one is perfect for the hotter weather. So spring and summer is really the best time to wear this one. In terms of the presentation, I like the blue on it. The name Ultra Blue is kind of to be expected. There are a lot of fragrances with blue in the name in the perfume industry, both designer and niche actually. But I do like the presentation of it. I like the faux leather feel on the front here. And my final verdict on this fragrance is, if you are a fan of bright, citrusy, oceanic fragrances that are geared for the summertime, you're looking for something with decent performance, you like Mont Blanc as a company, I would definitely recommend that you check this fragrance out. If you're purchasing this because you think it's going to bear any sort of a similarity to the original Explorer, don't. It's very different. And also, if you want to separate yourself from that Azzaro chrome-like DNA that I think many fragrances have taken inspiration from, and you're looking for something that has more of like an herbal twist, in my opinion, while still retaining those oceanic components, check this one out. You know, next time you're in your local Macy's, which is where I purchased this one, definitely make sure to give it a try. If you like it, great. Fragrance is subjective. And so I'm hoping you have a chance to experience this one soon if you haven't already had a chance to try it. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me today. That was my fragrance review of Mont Blanc's Explorer Ultra Blue. If you own or have tried this fragrance or the original Explorer, make sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've personally made a connection or a comparison to any other fragrance. Also, let me know how much you're enjoying this fragrance. Also, if you are new to this channel and you took something of value from this video, I would really appreciate it if you would consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. All you have to do is click on that red button in the corner. And of course, while you're at it, please be sure to enable notifications by clicking on the bell. Thanks again for watching. Love you all. We'll see you next time.